a fire couple from Fireland arrive at Element City, a large metropolis that houses people composed of the four basic elements: water, earth, air, and fire. Upon arrival, the couple are given the names Bernie and Cinder Lumen and try to look for a new home, but they are turned away due to their fiery appearances and abilities. They eventually find an abandoned abode in Firetown and make it their home and cafe, calling it the Fireplace. Bernie and Cinder have a daughter named Ember and raise her to help run the store for other fire people. Bernie immediately grows to dislike other elements, especially water people most of all, as he and Cinder face a lot of discrimination from water people when they first arrived in Element City. Several years later, Ember is still working at the Fireplace, but Bernie does not trust her to run it just yet, as she has a literal, fiery temper that makes it difficult for her to connect with other people. Bernie hopes to give the store to Ember so that she can keep their legacy alive, something which is personified by a blue flame that is tied to their culture. The only person outside of fire people that gives Ember the time of day is a young earth boy named Claude, who has an open crush on her, but she turns him down. Ember occasionally makes deliveries around town for Bernie, as he has developed occasional coughs from tiring himself too much from running the Fireplace at his old age, while Cinder makes love fortunes for people by smelling the smoke from incense wicks they light, and cannot get a love fortune from Ember, upsetting her. One morning, Bernie decides to let Ember run the store while he is out for their red dot sale, and she excitedly accepts. The day turns out to be tough, with Ember having to deal with inept customers. She runs down to the basement and lets out a fiery burst of energy that damages the pipes and causes water to flood the room. Using her fire powers, she reseals the pipes, but a waterman named Wade Ripple suddenly comes out of them. Wade, who is overly emotional, turns out to be a city inspector and immediately finds several problems with the Fireplace, made even worse when he discovers Bernie rebuilt it without a permit. Not wanting to lose another job, Wade takes down his notes and leaves with Ember chasing him. Bernie looks out the window and sees Ember chasing Wade, fearing the worst. Ember chases Wade deep into the city, her first time leaving Firetown, and follows him to City Hall. Despite her best efforts, Wade sends his notes, only to hear Ember's story about her father and why he built the store to begin with. Wade is touched, but admits that it is too late, so he takes her to bureaucrat Fern Grouchwood in an effort to stop the notes from leaving. But when Wade asks Ember to tell Fern her story, she is too reluctant to explain it, and causes her temper to burn most of everything in Fern's office, including his hair and mustache, after Wade almost finishes telling the story himself, failing to retrieve the notes. Ember goes home defeated and finds Bernie and Cinder in the basement trying to stop the leaks. Bernie is convinced that Wade is the reason why the place flooded, and Ember once again feels guilty for what happened. Knowing that she only has a week until the store is condemned, Ember goes back to City Hall to confront Wade. He reveals that she can still appeal to his boss, Gail Cumulus, to have the notes revoked, but she is currently at an airball game. Wade, just so happening to have 2 tickets, invites Ember to come with him to the Cyclone Stadium where the airball games take place so she can talk to Gail. Ember and Gail get into an argument, the latter's stormy temper being the result of a bad game from a player on her favorite team, the Windbreakers. Wade, knowing that the Windbreaker player Lutz is suffering due to his ill mother, coaxes the entire crowd to chant for him, turning the game around and winning for the team. Afterwards, Gail is informed about what happened and admits that the water towards Firetown was supposed to be shut off for the benefit of the people there. She tells Ember and Wade that if they can find out what caused the leak to begin with, she can reconsider the tickets. While they're examining the pipes, Ember rushes Wade out so they can continue finding the source of the leak. Wade tells Ember that he was inspecting the waterway when he noticed a damaged dam that was supposed to protect Firetown from overflows coming from arriving ships. He was hit with a splash and got swooped away through a vent where he ended up in Ember's place thanks to her temper. Ember makes a makeshift hot air balloon for her and Wade to ride in, and they set off to locate the leak. During this time, Ember reveals to Wade that she is envious of how he connects with other people. She also recalls how she wanted to see a tree of Vivisteria, beautiful flowers that grow in any element including fire, at Garden Central Station with her father during her childhood, but they were denied entry due to their fire heritage. Then the building flooded years later, thus preventing Ember from ever seeing the Vivisteria. Wade tells her about his father, who had a hard relationship with him and passed away some time ago. Ember and Wade find a crack in the dam. With Ember's help, Wade decides to use sandbags to block off the crack. He thanks her before asking her if they want to hang out sometime afterwards, and she reluctantly agrees. The two of them proceed to spend time together and start dating, happily sharing their experiences and abilities with one another. In the process, Ember gets better at satisfying customers at the store without losing her temper. However, she hides her relationship with Wade from her parents. Soon she and Wade learn that the sandbags are not holding up, and the city crew are unable to repair it due to Wade accidentally turning the water workers rock solid. When they try to collect more sand from the beach, Bernie catches Wade and he is forced by Ember to pretend to be a food inspector. This causes Wade to eat fire food for the first time. He likes it, but when he suggests watering it down, Bernie is outraged and has him banned from the fireplace. Ember collapses from getting stressed by the situation with the fireplace and accidentally heats the sand to make glass. This impresses Wade enough that she makes a glass orb with a Vivisteria flower in it. Inspired Ember instead uses her fire powers to turn the sand into a structured glass patch to seal the dam again, averting the disaster. Hoping the glass patch is enough, Wade invites Ember to meet the rest of his family. Cinder, who can literally smell love, follows Ember to a luxury apartment owned by Wade's mother Brooke, but gets stopped by the doorman. Ember is amused by Wade's family, and they in turn immediately love Ember due to her talented skills in glass making when she uses it to fix a broken glass pitcher. Everyone plays a game of crying, where they try to get the other person to cry with emotional words and imagery. When it was Ember and Wade's turn, Ember boasts that she has never cried. Wade begins with simple imagery before admitting that he wants to spend his life with her, causing her to make her first fire tears. Shortly afterwards, Wade gets a call from Gail, who tells him that the glass patch worked and will revoke the tickets, saving the store. As Wade and Ember leave, Brooke offers her an internship at a friend's glass-making company, which intrigues her, but it also causes her to get moody as she realizes her temper is caused by her not wanting to run the fireplace. She and Wade head back to the store with Cinder catching up to them. She brings them inside to have their love fortune being told, insisting that elements like water and fire cannot mix, primarily because Wade has no way to light his incense wick. However, Wade quickly disproves this by using Ember as a light source and himself as a looking glass to successfully light the wick, causing Cinder to see in the wick's smoke that Ember and Wade are meant for each other. Ember and Cinder quickly shoo Wade out when Bernie arrives to tell Ember that he is retiring and will be giving the fireplace to her. He tells her that when he and Cinder left Fireland, he was not treated with honor by his own father, who did not return a traditional bow of honor his son gave him, and wants to ensure that the same would not happen to him and Ember. In an effort to win Ember back, Wade takes her to the flooded Gardens Central Station where Gale creates an air bubble for Ember to travel in so she can see the Vivisteria underwater. The moment is perfect, but Wade soon rushes Ember out when the bubble begins to shrink. Ember reveals that she is excited over the daring escapade, and this convinces Wade to suggest that the two of them touch hands for the first time. To their surprise, Wade and Ember are able to touch and hold one another with no conflict. They dance together, but when Wade tells Ember that he is so lucky, this reminds her of hearing the same thing from her father. Ember pushes Wade away and breaks up with him, saying that no matter what happens, she still needs to take over the store. This disappoints Wade, as he calls her out for not opening up her true feelings. Bernie holds a traditional ceremony to announce his retirement and Ember's inheritance of the fireplace, but Wade interrupts and opens up to Ember about his love for her, only to accidentally reveal that it was her that damaged the pipes. Not wanting to disappoint her father and angered with the truth being told to everyone, Ember rejects Wade while Cinder tells Bernie about their love fortune. Already upset by the truth of Ember damaging the pipes in the store's basement, Bernie revokes everything and announces his intent to continue running the fireplace. Ember runs away to be alone with anger and sadness over everything that happened to her. Unbeknownst to everyone, the glass structure at the dam begins to crack as the dam proceeds to overflow, causing a large rush of water to suddenly break through and head straight to Firetown. Ember sees the damage unfolding and heads towards Firetown to warn everyone. Wade was going to leave to travel the world prior to Ember's rejection, but when he sees Firetown about to get flooded, he rushes there to help Ember without hesitation. They make it back to the store and they try to protect the Lumen family's blue flame from being doused. The two manage to save it, but are blocked off in the store's back alcove with the steam pipe blocked off. Wade reveals that due to the enclosed heat from Ember, he is turning into steam. She declares that she loves him, and they hug as Wade evaporates. After the flood dies down, the rest of Firetown find Ember holding the blue flame and crying over the loss of Wade. She apologizes to her father for nearly ruining the family legacy and finally admits that she does not want to run the fireplace because it is his dream, not hers. Bernie assures her it was not about the blue flame or the store, but it is about her that is his dream. The lumens and the other fire people suddenly hear Wade crying and Ember finds Wade's moisture on the stone ceiling of the alcove. Remembering the Ripples crying game, she plays it to make Wade cry, with Cinder accepting his and Ember's genuine love as a perfect match and Bernie unbanning him from the fireplace, and he drips out of the ceiling and reforms. Ember and Wade resume their relationship with a romantic kiss. Several months later, Fire Town has been rebuilt and is now much more open to the rest of Element City. Bernie has started his retirement plan, but has given the store to two of his neighbors who constantly poke fun at his cooking. Claude finds a fire girl his age that he starts to flirt with, while Gale discovers that Fern is a fan of the Windbreakers and begins to romantically pursue him. Ember has accepted the internship of the glass-making company that is located in another city, and will be leaving with Wade joining her. The couple say their goodbyes to their respective parents, with Ember and Bernie giving each other an honorable bow before parting. End credits. Bernie enjoys his time with Cinder during his retirement. Ember makes Wade a glass sculpture of himself with a big muscular body. Cinder reads Gale and Fern's love fortune. Claude dates the Fire Girl, a water woman and an Earth Man kiss. The Lumen couple and the Ripples become close friends. Lutz and the other Windbreakers play another airball game. Gale, Fern, Cinder, and Bernie are attending. And Ember and Wade eventually return to Element City after a long time of traveling together.